Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew from Stock Money Lizards, and today we're going to dive into a very cool chart pattern that is currently, in my opinion, playing out and has played out in the past in Bitcoin, and that's the broadening wedge. Essentially, a broadening wedge is nothing more than a megaphone-like structure. It is essentially communicating indecision in the market, hence the high volatility on the one side and on the downside. In this particular case, you have 3 touches at the top and 3 touches on the diverging line. If we look at this particular situation, this is a broadening wedge also, and if we go to Bitcoin, I was always under the impression that Bitcoin had gone through its own broadening wedge, which is over here. We had 1, 2, 3 touches. We had 1, 2-ish, 3 touches. We consolidated at the top, met the moving average, and then we went on a bull run. We made 2 tops and 1 base where we cracked it and made a low. If you go to this example, which is really similar, it's just when I was Googling a little bit, some examples, I found this and I found it really relevant because we had 1, 2, 3 touch, we had 1, 2, 3 over here, a bit of a horizontal trend line, we had some consolidation at the top, and then we went for a bull run. We essentially made 1 top, 2 top with a base at the bottom, and then we bottomed over here. So Bitcoin has gone through this kind of broadening wedge cycle before, and today what I want to look at is where we are at the moment. So as you know, we were talking about Bitcoin coming down to the moving average in our previous video. That happened more or less a day and a half after the video, and we sort of had a touch. I'm not too happy with this touch. I still expect us to come back on the moving average, but maybe it's not going to happen straight away, and I'll explain why. At the moment, we're looking at the daily period, and what we can see is that it's a very similar pattern to what we were looking at before. We have 1, 2, 3 touches, and we have 2 touches in this case, but we have 1, 2, 3 touches at the top. This megaphone pennant structure is a difficult one to play out because of the indecisiveness in the market. However, when I did some digging into some other charts, what I found was that if we look at Google, okay, in 2008 had suffered from the financial crash, where they went down about 60%, okay, and from that level of 60%, it seems like they experienced a bottom, a nice breakout in December of 2008, and then they made 1 touch here, 2 touch here, 3 touch here, 1 and 2. Now the cool thing is what happened afterwards. Okay, so look, so there's that and there's this. Now they look similar. Now you have a breakout, you have a low, you have a slightly higher low than that, which could be this mark to that, and then you have a very similar structure to that. Now what happened was this: we consolidated at the high of the megaphone, we broke out of it, a bit of a fake out, broke back into it, and broke all the way down to this level. Now before I show you what else happened, this essentially was a 10% increase in price, followed by 26 days and 21, about a 3 or 4 week move to the downside of 24%. And then after that, recovery was super strong. And Google just kept on going up. Okay, so this could easily be an up. I mean, it really went up. So it had a run of about 120%. So what I'm saying is this: big downfall, recovery, and now we're sort of in this situation. We had a 10% breakout, and then the market sort of took its profits, and sort of we had a downfall of about 20%, but then from there pushed out quite solidly. Now, if I find another situation, there's this company, it's called CBT, I can't remember the exact name of it, but essentially what happened over here is in 1997, okay, they also experienced a downfall in price slightly, and then they started printing this kind of pattern. They had one touch at the bottom, two touch at the bottom, they had 1, 2, 3 over here, and then what happened was they hit, let me just zoom in a little bit. We had one touch, two touch, 1, 2, 3. This is a fourth. Okay, it went up to this level, got rejected, but remained consolidating at the highs of the megaphone structure, and then made a nice push to the upside, which was met by selling power. This was also a 10% move to the upside, before then losing steam of about 20%, same as Google, and then having that V-shaped recovery, before going on its journey upwards. And sort of, I don't know, it just feels like Bitcoin could very much do something similar to this. At this point in the cycle, we will be having the halving, I mean, if here is June and here is April, that's what, I don't know, 9-10 months, so by then would be in the halving, so price would be remaining up here. Essentially, what was nice about this chart was that we can see that you have a broadening wedge kind of format, which is showing a lot of volatility, breakout 10%, correction of 20% upwards. Indecision in the market with Google, you break out 10%, you correct roughly 20%, breakout to the upside, and you keep on moving up. Okay, this is something that could be the start, confirmation of the start of the bull market. So if we go to now Bitcoin, what can happen now is something similar to this. We have maybe some consolidation in this area, a breakout of maybe 10% to 28k. At 28k, we pull back 20% ish to 22k, maybe a bit lower to 21k. I personally think it will meet the moving average. So if by then the moving average is somewhere at 2021, 22, we'll go back down to 2021, 22. And at that point, we will see a nice start of the bull run to maybe 100%. To maybe, that sacred 40 level, maybe meeting up with this high over here. So that is more or less the update for today. Essentially, I just wanted to talk about broadening wedges and give you relevant examples. I hope you found this video interesting. There's no financial advice. Essentially, all we're doing is commentating, and we're trying to analyze and sort of forecast price movements so that we are better prepared to take better actions. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Stay safe and have a nice weekend. Ciao, ciao.